With the current state of Congo, medical attention is something that is almost non-existent in the bush. Yet once again the United Methodist Church is finding ways to help. Wings of the Morning is a bush pilot ambulance service that provides air transport for the people in desperate need of medical attention. Gaston Natambo, Bishop Natambo's son, is one of those pilots.
Wings of the Morning is a flight ministry that has been on for since the 1960s, and what we do medical relief flights where we fly into some remote areas where there's no good roads, where 60-mile trip will take you about 11 and a half hours to fly, to drive, and I can do the same trip in 30 minutes in a flight. So we fly in some of these villages and pick up sick people, villagers. They don't have to be United Methodist, it's for the whole country.
Yet during the Civil War, the pilots were in constant danger.
So I was coming down to land, I looked down and I saw soldiers coming out of the bushes with their hand rockets and everything. I wasn't sure what to expect. So I got on the radio, I told my wife, I think I flew myself into the hands of the rebels. And they were blocking the runway with everything they can, and we were put under house arrest. That's when I asked ask permission to speak to the person who was in charge at the time, and he gave me the same answer that you heard me last night, you're not going anywhere. We're waiting for a truck that is going to come and pick you and the other missionary and take you to someplace, who knows where. And as we were arguing with that man, the truck came full of more other soldiers, and they came out and they picked up this missionary. They wanted to take him to the truck, and it was a very tense moment. So I backed off for a moment, and so there was a gentleman that was sitting in the car this whole time, and he was in charge. And I said, "Can I ask permission to speak to him?" And when I walked over to his door, it seemed like he had it looked at me, it gave me this impression like he had known me for someplace, And I said, I need your help, I need to talk to you. And he looked at me and said, do you know who I am? Do I know you? I said, no, I don't think so. He got out of the car and we walked down the runway, and he asked me to tell me about my family. And I told him who was my father. I said, my father is Bishop Natambo, and my mother is in Shimba. And he said, and you don't know who I am? I said, no, I don't know who you are. And he just looked at me and said, I'm your uncle. And I got up, I was so excited, I jumped up this high.
So for 5 years, the program was stopped in Congo and the plane sent to Zimbabwe for safety. Yet for Gaston, an American-trained pilot and airplane mechanic, to quit flying was never an option. In the garage of his home, with sheet metal, a couple of computers, and parts from a junkyard, he constructed a flight simulator so he could continue to practice his flying.
Gave me something to look forward every day. I'm the type of people that I just can't sit and wait for the world to go by.